I feel like there's something new that I just gotta tell you about. Hey, this is Scott Weidenkivitz, a storyteller with a camera, talking about all the things photographers like you and I are thinking about. In this video, we're going to talk about the Godox AD600 Pro. Godox is a brand out of, I believe, China that actually makes strobes and wireless and flash things, lighting tools, basically, under their own name, Godox. Some people call it Godox. I'm calling it Godox. But they also make it for other brands like Cowboy Studio and Studio Pro or Strobe Pro or something like that. Flashpoint, which is Autorama's house brand. They all white label Godox lights. Up until now, I have been using the Alien Bees, the B800s from Paul C. Buff. I've had them for quite some time, and they're fantastic strobes. They're very affordable, and even the light modifiers are very affordable for the strobes, and they've been great for me. But then Godox came out with the AD600 Pro, and what really caught my attention was not just the fact that it's a battery-powered strobe, a monolight that has a battery built in, or really attached to the back. And it's not the fact that it can be TTL or not be TTL, it's the fact that it also has a very powerful modeling light. Meet the modeling light of the Godox AD600 Pro, and you can see it's quite a big LED, much bigger than the majority of LED modeling lights that are on the market today. Here's the strobe bulb. It just goes right on top. Don't touch that filter, that sort of diffusion filter. Now the bulb's in. So here's the cool thing. I can now use this light for both stills and video. So right now I've got two lights that are from Savage, two LED lights, one behind me and one in front of me, that are used for video. There are solid lights. But in a little bit, I'm going to be switching from the edge light to one AD600 Pro through a strip box, which is a long, tall softbox, which will actually be able to light me a lot more than what the smaller lights can do. What is really, really great, besides the modeling light and how powerful it is that it is a fully wireless system. The actual monolight, it is wireless. The batteries, the power button is right here in the bottom. Now it's on. Look how bright that is. Now this has no diffusion on it. Heck, it doesn't even have the reflector on it. This is the reflector. You can see it's shiny right here. And this is a Bowens mount. I'm going to slip it right on. And it clicks in. You heard that click? Now the reflector is in. Actually, it is so bright and so close to my face that my camera doesn't even want to adjust right now. Okay, so that's a little bit better. You can see that it's a little bit more even. It's still washed out over here because it's literally right here. But what I want to show you is that look how bright this modeling light is. Right now, it's actually brighter than the main light, what was the main light, over off to the side, the Savage light. And now everything else, because my camera right now is on aperture priority, everything is adjusting. The shutter speed is going faster. The ISO is dropping down because there's so much light coming out of here that it's just everything's all out of whack. But it's really just to prove the point of how bright this modeling light is. Throw this into a softbox, I now have a big LED light. And the brighter I make the modeling light, the more the fan inside this thing will go on. So the Godox AD600, right? It's a pretty compact when all things considered. When you take off the reflector, right? Take that off. It's pretty compact. When you take off the battery, which starts right here, it's even more compact. Now it uses a Bowens mount. So what I have to do, and I will make another video for this, is I actually need to convert my Paul C. Buff light modifiers, my soft boxes. I have two. I have an octobox and I have a strip box. I have to convert them from the Balcar mount, which really only Paul C. Buff uses, to a Bowens mount system. Now, Bowens mount system, Bowens is a light mount that is also used by many of the other brands that are out there. It's a lot more common. It's kind of like using an Arca Swiss tripod mount. That's why you would use a Bowens mount for light modifiers. It's a little bit more universal. I found what I need in order to convert from a Balcar to a Bowens, and I'm about to receive that in a few minutes. Hopefully UPS will arrive, and I will be able to record a whole nother video all on converting that. In the meantime, let's do more about this. So here's the battery. It's a pretty hefty battery. You can get multiple batteries. You can see the battery level right on it. You can charge the battery directly here, or you can actually get an AC adapter for this if you do want to plug it in. So for example, I might wait till there's a good deal on the AC adapter and get one for my studio so that I can plug it in while I'm here, and then I can take it out with batteries when I go out. And eventually I will have multiple AD600 Pros that I can all control wirelessly using this, which I will get to in a minute. So the flash is fantastic. I used it in high-speed sync, in regular manual mode, in regular TTL mode. I used it a bunch, and I had a blast. It's got a built-in umbrella, sort of holder in there. It's a spring-loaded. I don't need to tighten anything. It just goes in and catches it, and it's in there pretty good. And it did a fantastic job. What I found out that it kind of bothers me, which I'll have to deal with in the future, is right now their firmware update system is absolutely horrific. You have to use an old Windows machine and take off all the security settings in order to use it, and you have to do it in the command line, and kind of ridiculous to just update firmware. So I may not even update firmware unless I absolutely have to on any of the Godox stuff. Now, to control the light without actually touching the light, and to trigger it without actually touching the light, you can either use Pocket Wizards and do it manually and adjust everything right here on the screen, or you can use a remote like this. This is, what is the model number on this? This is the X Pro N. Now, it's TTL for Nikon. They make this for Canon, for Sony, for Fuji, and so on. But this is the N version, the Nikon version. And all I have to do is turn on the light, and then turn on this remote, and I can then trigger the flash. And I can do it all from here. I can adjust the settings. Right now I have it at TTL at 0. I can actually switch it from TTL to manual, and I can bump it up to 1:1. You can hear how loud the pop is. Not too loud. I have the beep on as well. And I can pop, pop, pop. Now, it's not as fast as the ProPhoto recycling might be when it's at 1:1, but if I drop it down to something that's a little bit more common, like 1/128th, right? That's pretty fast. You can also do high-speed sync, and it'll do like those little you know what I mean. High-speed sync. It does a whole bunch of quick flashes at once in order to do flash and high speed. Anyway, so you can also adjust the output of the modeling light right from here if you want. If you want, you can. Anyway, I used it for a while. It only dropped to 1 battery bar down, which is pretty good in an hour-and-a-half family photo session of sort of almost non-stop shots. I was impressed. Usually I wouldn't go for sort of a random brand that I really never heard of until a couple years ago for something so important. But a lot of people are leaving ProPhoto for these things, so I figured I'd take a look at it and see how good they are, and I was really impressed. Now it's just a matter of getting all my light modifiers to also work on this instead of only on the Paul C. Buffs. I'll have more to share at some point on this, probably. Here's some photos from the recent session. And stay tuned for a video on how to convert the Paul C. Buff light modifiers, soft boxes, from the Balcar mount to a Bowens mount. If you like this video, click that subscribe button below now. I publish new videos every Monday and Thursday, whenever possible. You don't want to miss it.